This is where Rancho Ebenezer is in relation to the capital city. It's on about 90 acres, and you've got anywhere from 30 to 40 children, orphans, who are being raised there in about 7 different houses, and a coffee operation, a commercial coffee operation. And I think all the coffee went first service. But if you're interested in purchasing, if you like coffee and you want to have a cause attached to your addiction or pleasure, then go to the WGO site and order coffee from them. Again, today we've got the great pleasure of having Al and Terrie here for one more week before we send them off. And we wanted to hear a little bit about their ministry. We wanted to be able to celebrate the things that God's doing down there, and then we wanted to have an opportunity to really pray for them as they went back. So, Al and Terrie Runnells.
Hey, thank you, Paul. Wanted to thank you and Rosie for helping us get this all put together. Fellowship has been a true blessing to us, and we just want to say thank you, Fellowship Bible Church, and all of our supporters. I will share with you that at age 55, God called me into missions, and along with me, my wife proceeded. She really was the initial start of mission desires, that we wanted to be on the mission field. Actually made trips to Haiti and thought maybe God was calling us to Haiti, and did 5 or 6 trips there. And then opportunity came up here at Fellowship that we could go and give a week there in Tegucigalpa and El Rancho Ebenezer, and take care of some children for a week. One of the parents got to go to a family life seminar. So when we saw that in the bulletin that Sunday that they were announcing they needed house parents to come down and fill in for a week, I told Terrie, I said, this is really something that we can do. And so as we got down there, we were trying to hear what the Lord was saying to us, and Paul Kroger and his wife were there. And but one afternoon I went out and I was just asking God. I was just seeking the Lord. Lord, is this the place where you want us to spend a few years giving away, parenting kids? And it was a clear voice that He said, yes, your gifting, your talents I can use here because of the needs that are here. And so at that point I told Terrie that I clearly had heard from the Lord that this was a place that our talents and gifting lined up with the needs. So once we got back, Terrie 4 weeks later went back down to Honduras to do a summer school program, and I told her at that time, if you go down there and you come back and you still want to go down there and live, then that will be a sure confirmation that this is where we're to go and serve. And the way it worked out, she came back and said, I think this is where the Lord's leading us. So we prayed. We got with our community group. They prayed over us. And July of 2004, we moved to Honduras. And we have the wonderful privilege of being foster parents to 7 girls now. And they are such a blessing in our life. They are family now. And I can tell you the youngest one, Kinsey, she is really something. Terrie will tell you and share stories. But I tell you what, God's going to use her in a mighty way, because the enemy would love to have her. But God's got another plan as for all these children. But Kinsey, when we go to church, she has a relationship with our pastor there, Pastor Darren Quigley. And one Sunday, the pastor was sharing about Jesus' birth and how it was the prophetic word of God. And Kinsey looked up at Terrie and said, "Pathetic?" And Terrie said, "Oh, no, honey, it was the prophetic word of God." So we think sometimes that Kinsey's not listening to us because she kind of goes this way and we say, "Come this way." But we know that she hears, and she's hearing the voice of God. She has expressed desire to be saved and baptized. So we're going to pursue that when we get back. I will share with you, too, that our 4 oldest girls have all been saved and baptized. And Maria and Johanna actually taught Sunday school this last year in our church, at the church. And, we didn't coach them in that. They just saw the need and went after it. And that's really what we're building in our kids. That's what we want them to do, is to take the gospel. I know missionaries go into the field, they suffer, and they go and they share the gospel. Ours is a little different because we are building into the lives of these girls, and we know that they will take the gospel into their country. So we are very blessed, and I am a blessed man to have such a wonderful wife, and Terrie. She is, she's really the soul of our home. She keeps us, she's the coherent part that keeps us all together, and we're just very thankful. I'm thankful that God has given me such a wonderful, loving wife, and I want to allow her to speak now.
Okay, good morning. Missions really began in me as a young child when I heard the call to go, and my heart just leaped, you know, and that tug on your heart to go. But I really didn't understand that and fully. But then as a young mother, much older, and as a young mother, raising our children, many nights when I would put our children in bed and tuck them in, I would just go away and in tears with my heart just aching for children that did not have anyone to tuck them in. And so God began then to develop a desire in me to minister to children who did not have mothers. And He grew that desire in me all along, and it just never went away. And so when this opportunity came to go, you know, those two things are what the Lord just continued to grow in me and just burn in my heart. And so we've now been in Honduras for 5 years. We're foster parents, and I wanted to just go over this right quick. Our oldest girls have all been in the ministry since they were 2 and 3 years old, and the first, well, all but 8 years of their life, they were in institutionalized type of living. And they've been on the ranch now for 8 years, going into 9 years, and they've all been in anywhere from 3 to 5 homes, ours being the last one and the longest one so far. Most of their homes were anywhere from 1.5 years to 2 to 3 years. And so now they have 5 years in one home, and that's been really good for them. And then the 2 youngest ones, Kenzie, we've had her since she was 3, and she's now 7. And Katya, she came to the ministry 1.5 years ago, and she was taken off the streets, and she is abandoned. We don't really know much about her parents, but she is now speaking wonderful English. She's at grade level in everything, and she is a brilliant little child, so we're really looking forward to how God's going to use her. And anyway, the thing, though, that Kenzie, taking care of her, I just have to tell you that so many nights when I put her to bed, my heart is heavy because I don't know the days that I will have with her. And so I do know that I have to be very purposeful in everything that I do with her because I don't know. And I've just come to realize, you know, more and more that, you know, her life is in God's hands. It's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to parent her every day and do the best that I can, trusting in Him, and her future is in His hands. And so that's been a real good lesson for me to learn. And the verse, Psalms 103, let me grab it right quick. I just have to read this to you because this is what helps keep me on the mission field when I think about our 11 grandchildren here. But from everlasting to everlasting, the Lord's love is with those who fear Him, and His righteousness with their children's children, with those who keep His covenant and remember to obey His precepts. God's righteousness is with my grandchildren, and that's what makes us able to stay on the mission field for however long God would lead us there. And so we covet your prayers in that respect, that, you know, we would just have ears to hear what God's saying to us, and know, like we knew when it was time to go there, we'll know when it's time to leave.